Baba Shuaib, the correctional officer, born in Accra, Ghana, a Quranic researcher and a critical thinker based on religion, who does online lectures based on the guidance of the Quran on platforms such as Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok since 2018. In Finland, and 13 years, QBE, in Classical Arabic and MSA in Quranic Arabic. The author of the Refer to the Quran, which helps every novice to understand the steps towards understanding the great Quran and the guidance of God in it.
Time to rise and meet the challenge. Baba Shuaib is calling you out. Meet Baba Shuaib, a correctional officer with a mission. Today he's throwing down the gauntlet to the mushriks, no more holding back. With his logo shirt and cap, Baba Shuaib sits tall and confident. He says, the time for action is now. It's time to rise, to push past limits, and to become the best versions of ourselves. Baba Shuaib believes in the power of determination and resilience. His challenge is simple. Stand up, face your fears, and conquer them. Every day is a new opportunity, he says. An opportunity to grow stronger, to be better, and to leave a mark on the world. So, are you ready to accept Baba Shuaib's challenge? Are you ready to rise above and beyond? Join Baba Shuaib and let's show the world what we're made of. Because the only...
Mash up the deen. Mash up the deen. They might hijack the surahs and all that's between. Oh, no sense of sabah or the unseen, preferring hadith to embrace the obscene. Yeah, yeah, yeah. When the Holy Quran came into existence, the messenger was met with mass resistance. They couldn't believe his unrelenting persistence, a fully detailed book with overall consistency. This didn't stop them from transgression. Whenever the Quran would get some mention, when the time came for Quran court in session, the people were held to account and detention. Mention Allah in the book alone, a version. Mention hadith, scriptures, conversion. Prioritize man's indulgence, perversion. Base the deen on hadith, corruption. Today the Islamic ummah is polluted. The people of the book remain convoluted. The victimized women of Islam are muted. The Quran alone people are disputed. The true defenders of Islam are few and far to one five. Sunan ibn Majah, hadith devotees follow Lucifer. Get prepared for the correctional officer. Mash up the deen, mash up the deen. Polluting the minds of the mu'mineen. Proclaiming no hope for the alamin. Perverting the sirat al-mustaqim. So much for the millet of Ibrahim. Amani.
And by the way, there is a correctional officer has a official website. This is you go to yes, Celestine. I'm coming to TikTok soon. That is the website below, the correctionalofficer.com, right? The correctionalofficer.com. I can open it here so people can see how the website is, right? Let me open. I just put it here so people can see how it is. If you put the correctionalofficer.com, it will appear like that. This is the page, right? So anything you click, if you want to go access the website, like we have Facebook, there's Facebook here. When you click, it takes you to Facebook. There is Instagram. You click, it takes you to Instagram. YouTube, you click, it takes you to my YouTube page. TikTok, to my TikTok page. Twitter, to my Twitter page. RSS, where we have all the podcasts concerning the Great Quran. You click on it, it will take you there. If you click enter, it will take you to the intro into the main page, right? And then the Great Quran website. If you click on this, it takes you directly to the Great Quran website, right? As usual. And if you click on the logo, it takes you to the correctional officer's merch, where you can get your cap, the t-shirts, the hoodie, the pillowcases, the pillows, right? Whatever you need on there, you can get. And then if I click enter, it takes me to the next part of the page where it gives the intro, the about, right? The about is there, and I have a French version of it, right? There's a French version of it. So this is the French version. I might be putting other languages as well. As far as the page is growing, I'll be putting other languages for people to access, right? So there's a French in French. Then the conference I did whilst I was in Ghana, right? Some of the pictures I took is available there because a lot of people didn't get to see the updates when I went to Ghana last year, November. A lot of people still didn't get the updates, right? So all the updates will be put on the webpage, right? Factory Reset Conference. The team is Factory Reset, right? So if you click on these pink arrows, it takes you to the next page. So that's the Factory Reset, right? Just the short of it. Like that. Then you scroll, you go down, you have more pictures of the people who attended the conference. The pictures I took with everybody who attended, right, is there, right? So you have all the guys who came to support, and you see them donning the t-shirts, and they all got the t-shirt for free of charge. Nobody had to pay for the t-shirt, right? When I was in Ghana, everybody got it free of charge, right? This is part of the team, the work that we have to do in order to show appreciation to the people, as they also show appreciation to the work I do, and give back to the people who support this movement, right? So all the people who attended, and the pictures are still more coming. There are more pictures to be put on the website, so more coming. And all these people who attended this conference, of course, some few people among them got the copy of the Quran, thanks to the brother Imran Khan, who supported that. But now we have a sister called Sister Jeta. Sister Jeta has actually donated so that the people who attended this conference, I promise every person there will get a copy of the Great Quran, also with the help of brother Imran Khan. Yes. So this people who attended this conference, some people already got their copies, right? Few of them. But I promise you are going to get your copies. I have the pictures and I have the list of all of you who attended the conference, right? You are going to get a copy of the hardcover, inshallah. So there are more pictures to come on the website, and that is a website. I'm sorry, I apologize for those on TikTok. You cannot see it unless when you rewatch the program on YouTube or Facebook, you get to see this part. Then if you click next, then it takes you to the Mashup the Deen. You have the song streaming playing there, right? Then you have, in case you want to donate to the Hop Nima feeding program, I have the via PayPal and via Stripe. People who want to donate via PayPal is there. The link is there. People who want to donate via Stripe, the link is also there. And the picture is there to show you some of the things we do. But More updates concerning the charity works I've been doing will appear on the next pages to come in the near future, right? Then when you go, you click on next, it takes you to my videos. So here, all my videos, the short videos, the reels and the shorts will be put on the next page, and I'm going to put them from up to down. So it's going to cover all the pages. When you scroll down, it takes you down, you see the videos, they are coming. So each and every one, we are going to make it easy to download. So when people go on the website, it will be easier for them to find the videos they want from Baba Shribe, and you can download it easily. Because many a times I have people from Instagram, Facebook, and so on saying that, hey, I need to download this video. I want access to download this video. Can I download it? So sometimes I get confused because I've made my videos downloadable, but then I'm making it available on the website in one go. When people access it, they can take what they want from the website, right? Free of charge. You don't have to pay me anything. You just take any video you want there. Then we are going to make it shareable so that you can, from there, you can share, right? Any topic you need. Normally the videos, the reels I made comes with the title, right? On it. So like that. So when you go on that, if you want to go backside, you click the back arrow, it takes you back to the previous page. Or you click the arrow again, it takes you to the front. And then the last page will have my picture up there in the corner on the right. So when you click it, it takes you back to the front page again, right? So this is the Correctional Officer official website. It is www.thecorrectionalofficer.com. So anything I do, all my works will be on that website, official website, where you can access everything. But be rest assured, most of the works I'll put there is already connected to all my pages. So this will be like a hub where you can access all my content, right? In case I have any latest development or something coming up, the update will be there where you can have up-to-date infos, right? So it's still in the works development. So thank you for the support. And this couldn't be possible without you supporting Correctional Officer with the effort I put in this. I appreciate the support. God bless you all. Thank you. So let's move on with the topic of today. I see you, Sister Khadija. You're welcome. Salam to you. Thank you all. Yes, let's hope they have the. Momade says you need to offer one T-shirt, lol, and a copy of the Great Quran. Mozambique. Yes, you might. I could arrange that. Let's see what happens. I could arrange for you to get a T-shirt and a copy. But this is for mainly for people in Africa. Yes, the T-shirt you can have it for free. The reason why it is being sold overseas is because people based in Europe, sometimes you can consider the living standard is a bit higher compared to some people in Africa. So I feel like, okay, for Africa, and also to get it in Africa, done in Africa is a bit cheaper. So that was why I was able to afford that. But in Europe, the taxes and other things involved, sometimes it makes it a bit complicated. But anyways, yes, with the help of the people who show their support, yes, this can be done free of charge, inshallah. So thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, for the support. Now let's move on with the main program. Yeah, the best part. Thank you. You're welcome. Busi says salam to you. Let's move on to the main issue for today, right? Okay. So I have a video already. When I did a program with Alaji Africa from Ghana, based in United States, right, we spoke about Abu Lahab. And when I did a rebuttal against Prince Mushrik, right, if you watch that video, there's a rebuttal where when he asked me, if I follow the Quran alone, how can I know who is Abu Lahab? I did a rebuttal, I gave him the answer. However, that video, people say it's not clear enough. So today, Baba Shribe, the correctional officer, I'm going to give a breakdown to give you the clarity. Like, this video quality is clear enough. So I'm going to give the breakdown where this video will be trimmed and put on my page where people can have the explanation, the breakdown concerning who Abu Lahab is. So let's go on. But billahi minash shaitanir rajim. I seek refuge with God against the accursed devil, right? So, first of all, I'm taking you to the Quran chapter 16, verse 89. Quran chapter 16, verse 89. Then I'll put it on the screen. Yeah, here. So, Quran chapter 16, verse 89. The reason why I'm quoting this verse, is very important. Now, when you take this verse, it has a context talking about the day of judgment, right? So, on the day of judgment, what will happen is, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very sorry. I didn't give shout outs to people on TikTok, right? Bear with me. Sorry. Greetings to all those on TikTok. Shout outs to all of you. I appreciate your presence. God bless you all. Kindly share so other people can join. I see you, Celestine. I see you, Brother Hanif, Rachel Green. Guys, thank you all for coming. Mubarak, Adam, all of you. I appreciate you. I apologize for not paying attention to this page. Kindly share so other people can join. Thank you very much. God bless you all. I see you. Thank you. Right? So, thank you all. Greetings. So let's move on, right? Quran chapter 16, verse 89. So the context is talking about the day of judgment, but through the day of judgment, God is telling the prophet that he has given him the book which serves as an explanation or clarification for all things. So I'm going to quote that verse for you to see, where God says, "And the day we will raise among every nation a witness against them from themselves," right? Now, the reason why God used the word against them is because of alayhim. This word alayhim in Arabic is to denote against them, not for them, against them. Because every nation, they seem to go against what the messenger has to offer, right? Salam to you. No problem. When I go through the verses, you are going to see Abu Suleiman. So let's see what God says, inshallah. Yes. So a witness against them from themselves. And God says, "And we will bring you," which is the messenger, Muhammad, who received the Quran. God is talking to him in this verse. He says, "We will bring you as a witness against these." So Muhammad will be a witness against his people on the day of judgment. If you want to understand how Muhammad will be a witness against his people, read Quran chapter 25, verse 30, where the messenger himself will say on the day of judgment, "Qala Rasuli ya Rabbi inna qawmi ittakhazu hadha al-Qur'ana ma'ajura." The messenger will say, "Indeed, my Lord, my people have taken this Quran as abandoned," right? Because he will be a witness against them. So God says, "And the day we will raise among every nation a witness against them." Ask any Arabic speaker, Arabian, why did God use the word alayhim? Right? There's a difference between to say minhum and to say alayhim or alayhum. So as soon as God is saying alayhim, this witness is going to bear witness against these people, not for the people, against them. A witness against them from themselves. "And we will bring you as a witness against these people." Are you getting the point? Anytime somebody goes to the courtroom and a witness is brought, a witness mostly comes to witness against somebody. Do you get the point? If, let's say, somebody is guilty, this witness comes to witness against somebody. You call the witness to come and witness against somebody. So God will bring Muhammad as a witness against these people, and we have revealed the book to you as a clarification for all things. These same people who say Quran doesn't have everything, God is going to bring a messenger against them. I'm not the one saying it. God is saying it in the Quran. God says he has revealed the book as a clarification for all things. We have mushriks, hypocrites, and bozos among us saying that no, akhi, the Quran doesn't have everything. The Quran cannot guide you to God. The Quran is not sufficient. So God says he will raise a messenger against them. So that is why he is telling the messenger, we have revealed to you the book. Yeah, rolling dice, salam. We have revealed the book as a clarification for all things, and there is no exception. God didn't say illa except this or except that. God never said except or except. But anyways, God is talking to wise people, right? So when we say all things, it is concerning Islam. So the verse is going to give you the clue. So all things and as guidance. First of all, the book is to serve as guidance, and mercy is to serve as mercy, and good news is to serve as good news for the Muslims, for the submitters who are based in Islam. So the book is a complete book which has answers, clarification for all things. There's no exception concerning my guidance, which means anything God put in that book is sufficient, right, for my guidance. Salam, Taba 1984. Anything God has put in the book is sufficient for my guidance, right? Okay, there's a reason why I'm quoting this verse. Somebody will say, okay, you are going to talk about Abu Lahab. Why are you quoting this verse? I quoted it for a reason. Because this book says serve as a clarification for all things. But people don't want to study the book in a more appropriate way, right? Salam to you, Muhammad. You're welcome. Kazali Diallo, you're welcome. Okay, so let's continue. So I quoted this verse. Please write it down for a reason. Salam, Sayyidinu, I see you. Write this verse down for a reason. This book is supposed to give you clarification of all things concerning your guidance. There's no way God is going to talk about something in this book and he doesn't give you clarity. But sometimes he gives you clarity in a simple way. The simplest way, people don't like it. Anyways, let's continue. So now, apart from this verse, chapter 16, verse 89, I take you to Quran chapter 6, verse 114. So in Quran chapter 6, verse 114, this is what God says. God is telling the prophets to say, he says, Afa ghairillahi abtagi hakaman wa huwa allazi anzala ilaykum al-kitaba mufassala. Then he says, wallazina ataynahum umul kitaba ya'lamuna annahu munazzalu min rabbika bil haqq. Then he says, fala takunanna min al-mumtarin. So he says, so shall I seek a judge other than God while he is the one who has revealed to you the book explained in detail? Shall I seek a judge? Somebody should judge the affairs in Islam for me other than God who has revealed the book which has been explained in detail? No, I don't seek anybody. And those to whom we gave the book know that it has been revealed from your Lord in truth or with the truth. So do not be of the doubters. So I don't doubt God. So the book of God is sufficient for me to do guidance in Islam, judgment in Islam. Because I don't need to seek any other judge apart from God in Islam. Okay, so you can see this is clear statement and is clear enough, right? Assalamu alaikum, Naz. You're welcome. Now, these two verses I quoted, chapter 16, verse 89 and chapter 6, verse 114, two sufficient verses to show you what the book is capable of. The same book mentioned in chapter 6, verse 114 is explained in detail. The same book mentioned in Quran chapter 16, verse 89 is a clarification for all things. So now, before I go in depth, what else do you need? You have a book which is a clarification for all things. You have a book which is explained in detail. It takes a hypocrite to say, no, there is more to come. It takes a mushrik to say, hey, no, the book is not sufficient. Yeah. So Umar Satawur says, Baba, what does the blue P and blue S mean in your It means plural and singular. If you have the hard copy of the book, kindly check at the appendix. If you check to the appendix, it explains all this for you, right? Even the underline. When I underline something, it means to pay attention. You need to pay attention to that word. If you see me underlining anything in the hard copy of the Quran or the PDF, it takes you, it needs you to reflect why. Why is the underlined? So sometimes I will give a footnote to take you to further a verse which further elaborates that issue, right? So pay attention. The P, if you want to know why I use certain footnotes, anything in the hard copy or the Quran, the Great Quran, please check the appendix if you have the hard copy, right? Or if you have the PDF, it should be there. So now these two verses I quoted, the book is a clarification for all things, and the book serves as a what? As explained in detail, right? Okay, so now let's go. So the next verse I'm quoting is Quran chapter 111, verse 1. Now, many a times, this is the verse a lot of the mushriks will be quoting to you, that this chapter, a lot of the mushriks will be quoting this to you. Salam bin Ali, you're all welcome. They will be quoting to you and tell you, if you follow the Quran alone, you cannot know Abu Lahab. You don't know this. You don't know who is this. They will ask you, who is Abu Lahab? If you follow the Quran alone, how can you know? These people are mushriks and hypocrites and against the book of God. Look, God clearly asked a question in Quran chapter 29 verse 51. This is what God said. God says, "Awalam yakfihim anna anzalna alayka alkitaba yutla alayhim inna fi zalika la rahmatan." Then he says, "Wa zikra liqaumi yu'minun." God says, or is it not sufficient for them that we have revealed the book to you being recited to them? Is it not sufficient? What else do you need? Garbage books? Do you need garbage books to tell you what you need? Seriously. Those garbage books telling you on the day of judgment you are going to speak Arabic as if God is an Arabian? Those garbage books is what you need apart from the book of God? This perfect book? What else do you need? So you allow the mushriks to tell you, oh, if you follow the Quran alone, you don't know who Abu Lahab is. Baba Shuaib is going to show you. I have videos already showing that, but people want a clear video. So I'm going to tackle that. So, of course, to us the believers, God's book is sufficient because in this same book, there is mercy and remembrance for people who believe. We believe. We believe in the words of God. So we know the Quran is sufficient. And we know we have mercy there and we can have remembrance from God therein. So this book is sufficient for us. Now, if you say it is not sufficient, then this is a verse for you. Chapter 68, verse 36. In chapter 68, verse 36, this is what God is asking you, the hypocrites out there, and the mushriks. He says, "Ma lakum kayfa takumum? Am lakum kitabun fihi tadrusun? Inna lakum fihi lama takhayyarun." So God is asking you, the hypocrites and the mushriks, a question. How do you judge if you have any iota of brain in your head? How do you judge? Do you have a book better than the Quran? If no, why are you foolishly going to the garbage books? From books, somebody wrote books who never met the prophet. You take his books and say that is the book of guidance. How can you be so foolish and dumb when Quran chapter 2 verse 272 is clearly telling the prophet, clearly in the Quran, "Laysa alayka hudahum, walakinna Allah yadi man yasha." God says their guidance is not upon you, Muhammad. However, God guides whomever he wills. So if the people's guidance is not based on Muhammad, how can you foolishly now tell me I need to follow garbage books in order to be guided? And if you tell them you follow the Quran alone, they say you are lost. How can somebody be so devilish in the head? Anyways, they follow the devil. Wallahi, I'm not joking with you. Hadith followers are devils. They follow devil's book. Ask them, those books they follow by Imam Bukhari. Imam Bukhari, did he meet the Prophet? No. Did the Prophet give him authority to write? No. Who gave him the authorization? The books they have, the Sahih they put on the books, who gave them the Sahih? Who assigned Sahih? Imam Albani and so on. The Imams, the dead scholars you have, they are the ones putting Sahih, authentic, on the book. Can you imagine? Out of the foolishness of these people, the Prophet will say a statement, and you have a dead scholar who will now take the Prophet's words and say, "Akhi, this is Sahih. This is Da'if." So somebody who never met the Prophet is now judging the words of the Prophet. If you claim Hadith books are from God, you don't see this foolishness, right? Correctional officer will wake you up by force. Okay. So in Quran chapter 68, verse 36 to verse 38, is telling you how do you judge? Or do you have a book in which you study? Apart from the Quran, do you have a book you study? Because obviously this is what the mushriks have been telling us. Yes, you need to follow Imam Bukhari, Sahih Bukhari, come and follow the tafsir of Ibn Kathir, Ibn Abbas, and oh, why? Why? Abu Suleiman says, for me, he is a creation of God who did evil things along with his wife. That's it. No problem. We are going to see the verses, right? So how do you judge? Or do you have a book in which you study? Wherein you find you find whatever you prefer, or wherein you have therein whatever you prefer or choose? Do you have such a book? So if you think your hadith books are the ones to guide you, then keep on following your books. We said the book of God is enough. Why are you biting your fingers for? Baba Shuaib and people like me, we said the book of God is sufficient. And then you are over there biting your hands. Oh, these people are kafirs. These people are these. These people are going to hell. Okay, allow us to go to hell. The hell, is it for your father? No, Islam, does it belong to your father? Mushriks. Anyways, let's continue. So you see these verses I gave you. Now we are going to go into the highlight of chapter 111, verse 1. Ladies and gentlemen, all the verses I gave you was to bring you to a point where you get to understand that the Quran, the book of God, is the clarification of all things. The book of God has been explained in detail. The book of God is sufficient. All these verses I quoted. Yes, Salam Kid Costume, you're welcome. This same verse Baba is quoting is exactly what the mushriks do. They are doing, yes. So this, right, this verse, Quran chapter 9 verse 100 does not justify following hadith. It doesn't mention hadith. It doesn't mention Sahaba. It is even in the past tense. It says those who follow them be ihsan, in goodness, in kindness. Following somebody in kindness doesn't mean following hadith books. The hadith followers are so dumb that I don't know how they reason. Their brain is different. It's not, I think it's made in Temu or AliExpress. Anyways, let's continue. Now, this chapter I put on the screen is Surah Al-Masad. So God says, Tabbati yada Abi Lahabin wa tabba. Then he says, Ma agna anhu malu wa ma kasab. Then he says, Sayasla naran zata lahab. Then he says, Wa maratu hammalatal hatab. Fiji diha hablun min masad. Right? Now, this chapter, many a times you hear the mushriks telling you that, this, if you follow the Quran alone, you can never know what this verse or which person is this verse. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, the word Abu Lahab is a reference about a personality. It is not a name assigned to somebody. I'm going to show you. It's not a name assigned to somebody. They lied throughout history to tell you Abu Lahab is the uncle of the prophet, is related to the prophet. What? What? Throughout the Quran, did God mention anybody called Abu Lahab? Throughout Surah Al-Baqarah coming down, did he mention anybody called Abu Lahab as the uncle of the prophet, that he did anything? No, it's just a reference to a personality. This personality, I'm going to break down the verses, then you get to understand which personality is that. Okay, so now this chapter, which contains 5 verses, many a times people quote these verses having the preconceived notion that what the hadith said is the truth. So whereby Quran doesn't have clarification, it doesn't have answers, so you need the hadith garbage books to understand this chapter. It's a lie. I'm going to break down. So God says, Tabbat yada Abi Lahab wa tabba. Now I want you to underline the word Abi and to underline the word Lahab. Kindly underline the word Abi and underline the word Lahab. Right? Okay. Now we are going to go to chapter 7 verse 11. Before we go to chapter 7 verse 11, Iblis himself was created with the what? I'm going to show you what Iblis was created with. Let me put it on the screen here. Chapter 15 verse 27. Chapter 15 verse 27. It talks about how the jinn was created. So here God says, Wal janna khalaqnahu min qablu min narin samum. So God says, as for the jinn, we created him earlier from the hot flame of fire. So that is flame. The jinn was created from the hot flame of fire. So somebody might say, if the jinn was created from fire, how come on the day of judgment, God is going to use fire to burn the jinn again? Ladies and gentlemen, you the human being, you were created from sand, clay. You were created from water. Please, if they use water to splash your face or they use sand to spat your face, doesn't it hurt? When you are living under a certain let's say you are under the bricks and they break down, don't they fall on you? Doesn't it hurt? So what kind of mentality does a person has to think that, how can God create somebody from fire and then again fire who burn the person? Oh, come on, use your common sense. Just because you are coming out of something doesn't mean you are that thing. Are you getting my point? You coming out of something doesn't make you that thing. Are you getting my point? So think clearly. God is talking to wise people, not fools. Okay, let's continue. So God says in Quran chapter 15 verse 27, as for the jinn, we created him earlier. The jinn was created before the human being. So God used the hot flame of fire. Hot flame. You see, when the fire is burning, do you see on top of it, you see something like blue color, some colorful thing up there before the smoke. You see something, the flame. That's samum, nar samum. It's fire, on top of it you have it, right? So this hot flame of fire, that is what the devil, Iblis, was created from. Are you getting my point? So now, let's go back to the chapter I was reading. So chapter 111, Surah Al-Masad, when God says the handwork of the father of flame has been destroyed and he will perish. Throughout the Quran, from Baqarah coming down, the villain, God keeps talking about the most is the devil. Throughout the Quran, from the beginning to the end, the villain God talks about the most in the Quran is the devil. And he is our clear enemy. He is the one God is telling you his handwork has been destroyed and he will perish. This is why God shows us the secret of the devil in the Quran, chapter 2, verse 208. He says, وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا خُطُوَاتِ الشَّيْطَانِ. He says, do not follow the footsteps of the devil, because God has made it evident. God has made it clear in front of you in his book. So you, the believer, you know the footsteps of the devil. You know what it takes to fall in the traps of the devil. So his handwork has been destroyed and he will perish. The devil will perish whether he likes it or not. So somebody now will say, why did God call him father of flame? Because he is describing the personality. He is describing, it's not a name by birth. God is describing the personality. Remember, the book is a clarification for all things. So somebody will say, Baba, then how did you know he is the father of flame? Oh yeah, let's go. Chapter 7. Let's go to Quran 7, verse 11. I want you to open Quran chapter 7. We are going to read verse 11 up to verse 18. Then you get to understand why he is the father of flame. So let's go here. In Quran chapter 7, verse 11, and God says, let's start from verse 11, sorry. Verse 11 says, and we certainly created you and formed you, and then we said to the angels, prostrate to Adam. So they prostrated except Iblis. He was not of those who prostrated. And he is going to give the reason why he didn't prostrate, right? So God now said, God said, what prevented you, Iblis, to not prostrate when I commanded you? Iblis said, I am better than him. You created me from fire and created him from clay. So instead of telling God, God, I thought maybe you are speaking to the angels, so maybe I'm different or I'm a jinn, so why? But he said he's better than him. That's why he didn't do. Okay, so let's continue. Verse 13. God said, then descend from it. That is the garden they were given, both Adam and his wife and Iblis. In that garden, God said they should descend out of the garden. That is why you see the word minha. It's a feminine pronoun. Minha, denoting the garden, right? Then descend from it, for you do not have to be arrogant therein in the garden. So go out, indeed, you are of the dejected. That's why he's been cast out. Now, here, Iblis said, respite me until the day they will be resurrected, meaning the people. He's going to make a promise. This is why God says his handwork has been destroyed and he will perish. Because his handwork, God has already revealed it to us. Okay. Iblis said, respite me until the day they will be resurrected. That is the challenge. God said, indeed, you are of the respited. Right? It doesn't mean God has forgiven him. You respite somebody doesn't mean you have forgiven the person. It was a request the devil made. He said, respite me. The devil never said, forgive me. Adam happened to tell God, forgive me, and God forgave him. The devil didn't say, forgive me. He rather said, respite me until the day they will be resurrected. Then God answered, because God said in Quran chapter 40 verse 60, chapter 40 verse 60, that call on me and I will respond to you. When you call on God, he will respond exactly what you want. So God said, indeed, you are of the respited. Then Iblis said, because of what you have entrapped me, or you have trapped me, I will sit for them on your straight path. Then he says, then I will come to them from their front, from their behind, and from their right, and from their left, and you will not find most of them grateful. This is the promise the devil was making to God. God said, go out from it. That is the garden. Leave. Disgraced and banished. For whosoever follows you, listen carefully, whosoever follows you among the people, I will fill hell with you altogether. So he is the leader in this. He is the father. He is the dawn. He is the lead to hell. So God is making the promise that whoever will follow, because there has to be the leader before followers. So that lead, he is the Abi, he is the father of the flame. He is the leader of the flame. He is the dawn of the flame. So God says, I will fill hell with you altogether. Then he continues. If you continue, then he talks about Adam onwards, till Adam asked for forgiveness and so on, right? But now you saw the context from chapter 7, verse 11. I read it up to 18. You saw the context, right? And I showed you chapter 15, verse 27, how the jinn, Iblis, was created from the what? The hot flame of fire. And again, on the day of judgment, he will be burned in hell. So now, let's go. When we go back to Quran chapter 111, verse 1. Now God says, Tabbat yada Abi Lahab wa tabba. He says, the handwork of the father of flame has been destroyed, and he will perish. Now somebody will still say, the word Abi Lahab, we've been hearing Abu Lahab to mean a human being. Why is Baba Shuaib now saying that is the devil? How come God didn't say the handwork of the devil? It's just simple. When you take the case of Jibril in the Quran, I'm going to give you an example. I take you to Quran chapter 2, verse 97. I'm going to show you something, how to understand the Quran. Some things are spoken directly and some things are spoken indirectly. You just need to connect the dots in the same book, not outside the book. You connect the dots in order to get the answer. So now, for example, if you take Quran chapter 2, verse 97, this is what God says. Say, whoever is an enemy to Jibril, then indeed he brought it down. He brought what? The book. He brought it down into your heart. He's talking to the messenger by the permission of God, confirming what was before it and as guidance and good news for the believers. Now, this same Jibril, God made a reference in Quran chapter 16, verse 102. In Quran chapter 16, verse 102, this is what God said. He said, say, the Holy Spirit brought it down. The Holy Spirit brought it down from your Lord in truth, in order to reinforce those who believe and as guidance and good news to the submitters, to the Muslims. You see, it is Jibril being spoken about in Quran chapter 2, verse 97. You come to Quran chapter 16, verse 102. It says the Holy Spirit is describing the personality of Jibril. The Holy Spirit is describing the personality of Jibril. The reason why you can connect the dots is brought it down. So Jibril brought it down into your heart. Now somebody will say, how do you connect the dot between Holy Spirit and Jibril? How do you connect it is him? Salam ala Jatal Mahmud. I'm going to show you. Now we go to Quran chapter 26. Chapter 26. Then we start from verse 192. I'm going to read up to 195. Then you get to know it is Jibril. So in 192, chapter 26, verse 192, it says, and indeed it is the revelation of the Lord of the worlds. So the it that it has been talking about, the it, who, masculine pronoun, is denoting the book and the Quran. So here, indeed it is the revelation of the Lord of the worlds. Then it goes 193. Then it says the honest spirit brought it down. You can see, same Jibril, he's been given different personalities. It's been described with different personalities. Meaning, here it says the honest spirit brought it down. But in previous verse, it says the Holy Spirit brought it down. Then Jibril brought it down. Okay, So the honest spirit brought it down. But this honest spirit is the same as the Holy Spirit who brought it down. But when somebody doesn't understand this, they might think it is three different entities bringing down the Quran. No, it's still one entity, but being described. The personality is being described. Now I'm sitting here. I'm a salesman, right? You can describe me as a salesman, and you can describe me as a correctional officer. Because the correctional officer is part of my personality. But my correctional officer is not like my name, my birth name or something. But it's part of my personality, of what I do. That is why I have the name correctional officer. And being a salesman is part of what I do. It's part of my personality, meaning as sales. So, yes. Are you getting my point? So when God uses these names to identify the same entity, there's nothing wrong with it. Just as he used the name Abu Lahab to identify what? The devil. So when somebody doesn't understand, he might think, oh, why couldn't God just say the devil? Okay, my question to you is, why couldn't God just say Jibril throughout the Quran instead of here saying the Holy Spirit, instead of here saying the Holy Spirit, instead of here, because he wants you to understand the personalities involved. You understand? Of the same entity with different personalities can be described, just so that you can identify and know that, oh, it is the same entity, but different personalities at the same time. Okay. So now here, the reason why you can allocate this verse to assign to Jibril, I want you to check something. In 193, chapter 26, verse 193, it says, the Holy Spirit brought it down. I want you to mark the word brought it down. Then 194, it says, into your heart. It's talking to the messenger. Into your heart. Now, check the word brought it down and check the word into your heart. Now, I'm going to take you back to Quran chapter 2, verse 97, and then you make a comparison. Then you know what God is talking about. In Quran chapter 2, verse 97, you see here, brought it down into your heart. Do you see it? Same repeated statement. Brought it down into your heart. So this is why you can allocate this verse in line with the Holy Spirit and the Holy Spirit. Same entity. Are you getting my point? Okay. Now let's continue. Now the reason why Surah Al-Masad is talking about Iblis is how you need to connect the dots from all the chapters God talks about Iblis, so that you get to understand. So now going back, I take you to Quran chapter 18, verse 50. Chapter 18, verse 50, here, God says, and when we said to the angels, prostrate before Adam, and they prostrated except Iblis, he was of the jinn. Then God says, he was of the jinn. So he went astray from the command of his Lord. Will you then take him and his descendants? Ladies and gentlemen, if you read my translation, you will see me underline the word descendants. Descendants. Pay attention to the word descendants. The jinn, he Iblis, who has been created from what? The hot flame of fire. He is a jinn. And being a jinn, he has descendants. Ladies and gentlemen, he has descendants. Are you following? Apart from having descendants, he has a clan, he has a tribe. But before I go to the tribe, if you read these verses, God says, will you then take him, Iblis, and his descendants as allies besides me, while they are enemies to you? Wretched is the alternative of the transgressors. So will you take the Iblis as an ally when you know he is and his descendants are enemies to you? Now, if God is telling you that Iblis has descendants, and again, the same God is telling you he has a tribe, I'm going to go to the next verse to show you. In Quran chapter 7, verse 27. In Quran chapter 7, verse 27, the same Iblis, God is telling you about him here in this verse. Quran chapter 7, verse 27, God says, "O children of Adam, do not let the devil entice you as he ousted your two parents from the garden, abstaining them from their clothing in order to show them their bodies. Indeed, he and his tribe." Do you see here? He has, in Arabic, we say kabila or kabilu. This kabila is tribe, or we can say clan. So he has a tribe and he has descendants. So if you are told Iblis has a wife, how is that a big deal in your head? Ladies and gentlemen, Iblis has descendants. Iblis has a tribe. And ladies and gentlemen, when we say tribe, take your dictionaries there. Check the meaning of the word tribe. When we say tribe, we say in terms of family, we say a group of people related by blood or what? Marriage. So Iblis has descendants. Iblis has a tribe. Yes, Iblis has a wife. Now, the moment people will start telling you, "Oh, no. Iblis doesn't have a wife," just ask them, how did he end up having a tribe and how did he end up having descendants? These two parts of him, having tribe and having descendants, how did he end up having this? Okay. So like I said, we have concept in the Quran where God speaks about it directly, and we have concept where God speaks about it indirectly. You just need to connect the dots. That's it. From the same book, not outside the book. You get my point? Okay. So here, you see the verses which shows you Iblis being created from the hot flame of fire, Iblis having tribe, and Iblis having descendants. Are you with me? Okay. So now, let's go back to Surah Al-Masad, chapter 111, verse 1. So now, when we say the handwork of the father of flame, Abu Lahab, the word Lahab in Arabic means flame. In order for you to understand why the flame is used, I want you to pay attention to the verse 3 of the same chapter. Check verse 3. You will see the word Lahabin has been repeated. The word Lahabin, which is mentioned in verse 1, God repeated it in verse 3. Lahab. So God was describing a personality. He wasn't describing somebody's name. The uncle of the prophet is Abu Lahab. Tell me, can the prophet's uncle, can he be worse than Pharaoh? Not even Pharaoh has a full chapter dedicated to him. And then you say the uncle of the prophet. Where is he mentioned in the Quran? Where? What did he do? So now, this 111, Surah Al-Masad, when God says the handwork of the father of flame has been destroyed and he will perish, his wealth will neither avail him nor what he earned. Somebody will say, "Hey, Baba Shraib, how did the devil end up having wealth?" Oh, you don't know the devil has wealth also, right? People sell their soul. You don't know the devil gives them money. He has wealth. Okay, I'm going to show you from the Quran how the devil end up having wealth. So God says his wealth will neither avail him nor what he earned. The devil earns also. He earns. But I'm going to show you how the devil gains his wealth. Okay, so Quran chapter 17, verse 64. I'm going to show you how the devil gets his wealth. So this is the promise between God and the devil. And this is what promise happened. This is how the promise happened. Now, when you read from the verses above, above. Chapter 17, verse 62. Listen to the dialogue. He, Iblis, said, have you considered this whom you have honored over me? Concerning Adam, right? If you delay me till the day of resurrection, I will sophisticate his descendants. He is now threatening the descendant of Adam. He is telling God, if you respite me till the day of judgment, I will sophisticate what? His descendants, just as Iblis also has descendants. So he says he will sophisticate the descendants of Adam. We all know Adam has a spouse, right? Adam has a spouse and he has descendants. Likewise, Iblis also has a spouse and he has descendants. And he even has a clan, a tribe. Pay attention. So he says his descendant except a few. So meaning only few can he not mislead. Then 63. He, God, said, depart, for whoever among them will follow you, Iblis, Abu Lahab, the father of flame, then indeed hell is your requital, and an abundant requital. Then 64. This is where it is going to show you that the devil has wealth. Then God says, and arouse whoever you can among them with your voice, and attract them with your horses and your men, and partake in their wealth. Listen carefully. And partake in their wealth and their children. So the devil will partake in your wealth and children. So whatever he will acquire, listen carefully, and arouse whoever you can among them with your voice, and attract them with your horses. Oh, so the devil has horses, huh? Does it make sense to you now? When God says whatever he acquired, whatever he earned will perish. Huh? His wealth, anything will perish because he has it. The devil has them. Okay. So attract them with your horses and your men. He has men. Oh, the devil has men also. Okay. And partake in their wealth. Oh, so the devil can partake in the money. He has money also. We see people selling their souls to get money. Yeah, the devil gives them money because he has money. Yes. And their children. The devil will partake in their children making. Yes, the devil promised people children also. He partakes in giving people children. You hear them a lot in countries which has voodoo and so on. People go to the river goddess or whatever and have kids and so on. Then it continues, and promise them. Then God now is going to expose him. But the devil only promises them delusion. So the believers who God knows they will follow God, the devil cannot get them. Are you getting the point? So whatever the devil will acquire, it will perish. So that was the promise God was telling him in Quran chapter 111, verse 1 to verse 5. So let's continue. The handwork of the father of flame, which is Iblis, has been destroyed, and he will perish. It's a future tense. He will perish, whether he likes it or not. His wealth will neither avail him nor what he earned. Whatever the devil earns will not avail him, and his wealth will never avail him. Verse 3, he will burn in a fire of flame, regardless of him. Regardless of him. Sorry, what is wrong with this? Why is this lagging? What is wrong? Something is wrong with TikTok. There's a guys, the devil doesn't like me speaking about Hey, devil, what are you trying to do? What are you doing to my this? You don't want people to hear me speaking about you. See this devil. Oh. Auzu billahi minash shaitan rajim. Give us way. Let's do our lecture. No Allah. I'm talking to people on TikTok. You start causing confusion to make me confuse what I'm saying. Shaitan in banza kawai. Auzu billahi minash shaitan rajim. Guys, go and see what the devil is doing to me on TikTok. Oh. This is the first time in my life TikTok is freezing. My network is 100%. Come and see. And you are causing some breakdance. You want to distract me. So the devil knows his power cannot fight YouTube and Facebook. So he is doing it to TikTok. Look, now that I'm talking, he's starting to release the network. The devil, Kawai. The mushriks are there. You will not go and disturb them. Baba Shuaib is here teaching people good thing to learn. You are disturbing my network. Guys, is it okay now? Okay, let's continue. So he, the devil, he will burn in a fire of flame. So the word Lahabin has been repeated in verse 3. The same word is mentioned in verse 1. The same word, Lahabin, is mentioned in verse 1. So it is the personality of the devil God was describing. But let's continue. So God says he will burn in a fire of flame because God already made a promise to the devil. Look, it's guaranteed the devil will burn in hell. It is guaranteed. There's no two ways about it. God already guaranteed the devil. I showed you verses. He is going to hell and he will burn in hell. Yes. Then verse 4, God says, and his wife, because he has descendants. Why is it a big deal for people to understand that the devil has a wife? I don't understand why people cannot understand. He has descendants. He has a tribe. And if we say the devil has a wife, is very big in your head. Oh, no, I don't understand this mushrik stuff. So God says, and his wife will be the carrier of the firewood, which is going to be used to burn him. The wife is going to carry that. And it's still big for the mushriks to understand because they don't want the devil to go to hell. I don't know, the mushriks. They don't want the devil to go to hell. Let's continue. Then God says, with a rope of fiber around her neck. Yes, the devil and his wife, they are teammates. They are going to hell. So God is, somebody says, restart TikTok. If I restart, everything kaput. So I have to disconnect the network and come. I think it's okay. Guys, is it okay or is it still freezing? I think it's okay, right? The devil knows who he's dealing with. This is correctional officer. Hey, devil, I know you are watching me on TikTok. Watch me very well. Me too, I'm watching you. God has exposed you in the Quran, just like he exposed the mushriks and so on. You are also exposed in the Quran. So let's continue. So God says, with a rope of fiber around her neck. So the devil and his wife are going to burn in hell. This has nothing to do with Abu Lahab, the so-called Abu Lahab. They keep lying to you, the uncle of the prophet, Abu is a lie. Toli song, wallahi, they are lying to you. The Quran gives you answers to all the things you need concerning your guidance. The answers are in the book. Yes, you just need to study the book. Look, God didn't just reveal the Quran for you to just be reading just like a storybook. Quran chapter 38 verse 29. I'm going to quote this verse. Pay attention to this verse I'm quoting. God says, it is a blessed book. Number one, the book you are reading, this book I'm reading, is a blessed book, which we have revealed to you so that they may contemplate its verses, and that those of intelligence will take heed. So it takes intelligent people to reflect on what the Quran says, the book of God. The mushriks, because they don't have intelligence, they cannot reflect on the words of God. There is the hadith garbage books. That is the books they can use their brain to understand. Yeah. The mushriks, that is where their brain is good for, the garbage books. But the mushriks, Quran is not a book they can use their brains to understand. So they don't have the intelligence to process the words of God. Wallahi, I'm not joking with you. The mushriks, oh my God. So ladies and gentlemen, when somebody is telling you that Abu Lahab is the prophet's uncle, tell him, show me in the Quran where it says the prophet's uncle. They are lying. Wallahi, they are lying. So it's not a joke. This is the breakdown to who Abu Lahab is, and it is the father of flame, which is Iblis. He is the father. He is going to be the lead, right? When we say in a metaphorical sense, when we say father, it means leader, the dawn of something. You are the leader of something. So that is the father of flame, Abu Lahab. He is the father of the flame. He is created from the fire, the hot flame of fire, and he is going to lead the people to hell at the same time. So if you think the devil doesn't have all the qualities of that chapter I explained, whatever I assigned in the Quran, then you are playing with your head. So ladies and gentlemen, this has to do with Iblis. And now I'm going to open the phone lines for all those who are here. I'm opening the phone lines. I put the number here. Yeah, this is the correctional officer number below the page. Yeah, Salam, enough is enough. I see you, Tujis. Yes, this Baba Shribes platform is for people who know how to use their brain, right? Not for emotional people, not for people who don't have any iota of intelligence. Please read my bio on all my profiles. Go and read my bio. I only lecture intelligent people to the truth in religion. So anybody in the comment section, if you lack any iota of intelligence, please, my page is not for you. If you want to go and listen to the heebie-jeebies of your scholars, oh yeah, go. They are on the internet, chow. A lot. Go. Here, correctional officer, I'm here for intelligent people. And because the truth doesn't mind being questioned, I'm ready to be questioned. I open my phone lines. +358 466 803144. WhatsApp number. You can call me right now and ask me your questions. Simple. Just as your scholars will not give you the chance to be questioning them directly. Baba Shribe, I've opened the phone lines. You're welcome to call me. You're welcome to ask your questions. Yes, and I'm going to send the invitation link for the guest who wants to join also. So let me put the referral, the invitation link also. For those who want to join as guests on StreamYard, you're welcome to join as a guest also. And I think each person who jumps on, I can give you 10 minutes, maximum 15 minutes, not more than that. So this is the link for those who want to join. And also, if you want to call, the phone number is on the page. You can call via WhatsApp. Yes. Yeah, thank you, Kid Costume. Thank you. Yeah, I'm waiting for those who are going to join before I go to TikTok, right? Yeah, peace to all those who are joining now. I can see you, Celine Monique. I can see Dabus Samadu. I can see all of you joining. Salam, I see the Warner. Warner, I see you. I see Ratus. I see MJ Palmer. Muhammad Al-Amin Cham says, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. When I was saying it earlier, where were you? Where were you? Yeah, salam.
Assalamu alaikum, Baba. Can you hear me, Baba?
Yeah, I can hear you, Emily.
Okay. Baba, yeah, yeah. Can one be a Muslim but not a believer, and a believing uh, um, uh, a believing Muslim woman and then a believing woman? I don't know how to express myself, sir. That's it.
Your phone network is very bad, but I think I heard your question very well, Emily. In case you've fixed the problem, you can call back, right? You can call back, but let me see. Let's see if I understand the question. So God spoke about levels of faith. He spoke about levels of faith, and these levels of faith can be attributed to, for instance, in Quran chapter 33, right, verse 35. In Quran chapter 33, verse 35, God spoke about this. He says, indeed, the submitting men and the submitting women, the believing men and the believing women. It shows that there are two categories, there are levels. Then he says, the obedient men and obedient women. That is another category. Then he says, the truthful men and the truthful women. It is another category. You can classify somebody. Then the patient men and the patient women, it go. The humble men and the humble women, the charitable men and the charitable, the fasting men and the fasting women, on and on. So yes, somebody can be at the stage of just being a submitter and not in the stage of a believer yet, right? Because a believing stage, a believer stage is a stage where you have much faith, where you have faith. Somebody can be a Muslim, knows there's God, he submits to God, but he doesn't have faith. His faith is shallow, is small. He is in the process of building himself, right, to be at the believer's level. A believer is somebody who doesn't have doubts whatsoever. That is a stage of a believer, right? So as a submitter, the level of a submitter is different from a level of a believer. A believer is in a higher position than a submitter. Yeah. Courtney Ward says, Baba, we need the advice Will Smith has in the Men in Black film to reset every. The Mushriks wouldn't like that. They need the Hadith book so much. They can't do away with that. Uh-huh.
Good afternoon or good evening.
Good evening, good night, good morning. Anyone you say is correct. Everybody watching somewhere part of the world.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
My name is Pascal. I'm calling from Morocco.
You're calling from Morocco.
Yes.
Your name is Pascal. Originally
Yeah.
from where?
From Mali, Mali.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Nice to
How may
meet
I
you
help you,
too.
Pascal?
Yeah, I just have a question about Iblis actually.
Mm-hmm.
So when God ordered to the angel to prostrate to before Adam, they all did it except Iblis. So, uh, but Iblis was actually among the jinn. So obviously, we can say that the order didn't concern him. But if he had the title of angel, it would concern him. So my question is he really have had the title of angel? Therefore, the order would concern him, or if he was naturally he is a jinn, his nature is jinn. If his title is a jinn only. So how the order would concern him?
Okay.
Uh,
So first of all, there are two ways to look at the verse.
Yes.
when God talks about giving command to the angels, right? There are two ways. If you check the word malaika, malak,
Mm. Right.
you see sometimes when somebody is very handsome or beautiful, we say you are an angel, or we say
Angel.
she's an
Yes.
angel, right? If you look at the word angel as a title, then
Yes.
yes, Iblis can be classified
Yes.
as part of them. If you look at it as a title, as a role, right? For instance, among the police officers, we have somebody who is a sergeant, and then we have
Yes.
corporal, and we have a
Yes.
detective, and so on, right? So, police as a title, then within police, somebody can have a position.
Yes.
So, jinn, Iblis by nature is a jinn.
Yes. Yes.
But
I
then,
agree with
if
you.
you go among the angels also, you can see there is Jibril. Jibril has been classified as a Holy Spirit,
Yes.
right? Has been classified as the Holy Spirit, Holy Spirit, and so on. Now, a spirit was sent to Maryam, and he came in the human form. In Quran chapter 19, when you read from verse 16, a spirit came to her. And this spirit can also be classified as an angel,
Yes.
right? But now, coming back to why when God told the angels to prostrate except Iblis, if you read Quran chapter 18, verse 50, God said the reason why he is of the jinn.
Genius. And he says he was better than Adam also. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Then Iblis said he is better than Adam. Why? God never said Iblis is better. Nowhere did God say Iblis is better than Adam. It is Iblis' own conclusion in the head.
Yes. Of course.
Okay. Now, the human being, we are created as human beings. I can see you too, you are a human being, right?
Yes.
The jinn was created also as a jinn in the first place. So God says in Quran chapter 51, verse 56, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسِ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I did not create the jinns and the humans except what? To worship or serve me.
Yes.
So these two heavyweights, we have been created as human beings and jinns. But the angels, God never talked about their creation and how he created them, because
Cultivate them. Yeah.
throughout the Quran, you can see it's a title and a position they have.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
when you are dealing with the Quran and you look at it as a title, so for instance, I'm going to give you an example. If you go to Quran chapter 12, verse 31, concerning Joseph,
Just
see what the ladies called him. The ladies said he is an angel. I'm
angel.
going
Yes. Yeah. He's not a human.
so they said,
Falama.
and when she heard of their scheming, she sent for them and prepared couches for them and gave each one of them a knife and said, Joseph, come out for them. And when they saw him, they magnified him and slit their hands and
Yes.
said, a round up for God. This is not a human. This is just a noble angel.
Angel.
So when you look at the word angel, Malak, as a title, then yes, Iblis can be in that category.
Yes.
But when you look at it as a creation,
John Lawyer.
just like the creation of a human being,
Being
then you cannot classify Iblis part of
Iblis.
them,
Yeah.
because
Of
then
course.
saying he's a jinn will contradict that.
Yes. Exactly.
Aha.
Yeah.
So it can be looked at in two ways. If
Yeah.
you look at the word malaika as a title, yes, Iblis is part of them. God didn't make a mistake when he commanded him, because if you
Yeah.
read Quran chapter 7 very carefully, it seems like it is a title God is referencing
I came to
about.
the same conclusion.
You see, this is the verse.
Yeah.
And we suddenly created you and formed you, and then we said to the
Yeah.
angels, meaning, don't look at it as angels, look at
And
it as a title. So,
type.
keepers. When we say malak, it can also mean to keep something, a keeper, somebody
Yes.
who holds something, right? Aha. So just like we say ma malakat aymanikum.
Yeah.
Aha, malakat. So malaika can be keepers, but if you look at it as keepers, then yes, Iblis can be in that category. But if you
Yes.
look at it as a creation, just like a human creation and a jinn
Yes.
creation, then no, you can't put Iblis there. So
Yes.
then God says, and then we said to the angels, prostrate to Adam. So they prostrated except Lucifer. He was not of those who prostrated. Then now, verse 12. God says, and God said, what prevented you to not prostrate when I commanded you? So if we check the verse above, we didn't see God commanding him.
Yes, exactly right. Yeah.
Uh-huh. So it is only when we look at it as a title,
Yeah.
yes, he is part.
Right.
So that's the point. You can look at things, and Quran is not just the book you only look at things in one way. You can look at things in different angles.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. May I ask another question?
Yeah, it should be your last question. Yes, let's go.
Yes, exactly. So it's about Asariku. So that I don't know the word in English.
Yeah, the thief
The
and the
fee.
thieves. Yeah, the female
Yes,
thief and the male thief. Uh-huh.
exactly. Cut their their hand. Yeah, it's like the word used. It's the same Arabic word used in chapter 2 in Joseph.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean to cut totally the hand, remove the hand totally to right, because it's the same word. If it's actually cutting totally the hand, so the female the women, when they saw Joseph, it's mean they cut their hand. It doesn't make sense, right? So my question is exactly to just make an injury in the hand of the thief.
If you make an injury in the hands of the teeth, the thief, does it fix anything?
No.
So let's understand the verse. There's a reason why God gives laws and regulations to why
Mm.
things needs to be done. So when you go to Quran chapter 5 verse 38, I'm going to read the verses here. Now, I have a full video on this already. I've done a video on this issue. I have it on my YouTube, right? Now, God says, as for the male thief and the female
And
thief,
the thief,
henceforth
yeah.
amputate their hands as a requital for what they acquired as an exemplary punishment, nakala,
Mm.
from God. And God is almighty and wise. Then we continue. And whoever repents after his wrongdoing and reforms, then indeed God will forgive him. Indeed, God is forgiving and merciful. Now, the mistake a lot of people do is when they see the word amputate, anytime people want to take everything literally in the Quran,
Mhm.
because they see the word, they think, oh, God says you should cut somebody's hands.
Yeah.
The reason is God says He has given us the examples of everything in the Quran, true or false.
If true, of course. I
Okay,
believe in that.
did you ever seen the example of cutting somebody's hand?
No, of course not. Yeah.
Okay, so let's check the verse. God says in Quran chapter 18, verse 54, we have certainly conducted in this Quran of every example
Policy.
for
Yeah.
the people, but the human being is disputing most things. So when you see a word in the Quran, does not mean every time you have to take it literally. So let me
Yeah,
give you the example.
for sure.
In Quran chapter 14, verse 1, this verse, it says,
Kitabun.
Alif Lam Ra, a book which we have revealed to you in order to bring the people out of darknesses into the light, by the permission of their Lord, to the path of the Almighty, the praiseworthy. Now, let's look at this verse literally. You see this verse, chapter 14, verse 1. We are going to
Yes,
look at it literally.
I used to read it. Yes.
This verse, if you look at it literally, does it make sense?
Of course not, because when there is no lights, a book can never turn on the light, so it doesn't make sense. But if you take it spiritually, for example, the book will show you the right way to inform your life, the right way to be a righteous man in your life. Yeah, it makes sense now.
Thank you. Thank you. So this verse has to be looked at non-literally. It means to bring you out of ignorance into the light, to enlightenment. We understand. The
Yeah.
darkness is when you don't know anything. The book is there to bring you out of that, well, the ignorance. Sorry. so that you know something. So you can see when I translated it, I put it as it is in the Arabic so that people will understand the verse. But when you are looking at the verse, you have to look at it from a different angle. So it is not everything in the Quran you look at it literally. So now let's go. God says he has given us the examples of everything, right?
Yes.
So if we go back to the chapter 5, verse 38,
38. Yeah.
and God says in the verse, and he says, as for the male thief and the female thief. And when we say somebody is a thief, we are not talking about somebody who just went to steal bread.
Yes.
Just a second. Why is this still doing that? I'm trying to remove this and put this. Yeah. So when we talk about the male thief, somebody who steals regularly for a living, that is a thief. Not somebody who just went to the shop, he needs something to drink, he's thirsty, he took this bottle, then you say he's a thief. No.
Yes.
Somebody who plays football regularly, we call him a football player. Not somebody who just one time he goes to the football field to play football, you call him a footballer. No. Are you getting the example?
Yes. Yes.
So when we say a male thief and a female thief, then God says, hence amputate. This amputation, in some instances, depending on the judge in charge. Some people can choose to take it literal, and some people can choose to take it non-literal. Whichever judge is judging, so far as he will apply justice, that will be based on him. And I'm going to use Joseph to give you an example. Yusuf.
Yeah.
Right? So henceforth, amputate their hands. Then you can see me underlining every important word in the verse.
Yes.
It means pay attention. And I gave a reference of chapter 5, verse 33, when God spoke about corrupt people who are corrupted. They can be banished, they can be their life can be terminated, or they can be amputated from alternative sites. But
Yes.
still, it can be looked at from a different angle. Then he says, as a requital for what they acquired as an exemplary punishment. Now, when the word nakala is used, exemplary punishment is a punishment which you do as a capital punishment so that people can see and learn from it. Then he says, from God, and God is almighty and wise. But this is where it becomes complicated. When you go to verse 39, then God says, and whoever repents after his wrongdoing, meaning if you have done something and it's wrong, and he reforms, then indeed God will forgive him. So now the question is, if God has forgiven him, how will the people know that?
No way.
Okay, I'm going to give a breakdown. I'm just giving people the idea to think. Indeed, God is forgiving and merciful. Now, let's go to Quran chapter 12. Then I take you to verse 70. Concerning Joseph and his brothers, right? So here, when you take verse 69, chapter 12, verse 69, it says, and when they entered to Joseph, he provided shelter for his brother. He, Joseph, said, indeed, I am your brother, so do not despair of what they have been doing. So when he supplied them with their equipment, he placed a water container into his brother's baggage. Then an announcer announced, oh, caravan, indeed, you are thieves. There the brothers said, while approaching to them, what did you lose? They, the accusers, said, we lost the king's jar. And for whoever brings it, it is a camel's load, and I am the leader for it. They, the brothers, said, by God, you certainly know that we did not come to corrupt in the land, and we are not thieves. They, the accusers, said, so what should be its requital if you are liars? They, the accusers, said, its requital shall be the one in whose baggage is found, thus he will be its requital. Thus do we requite the transgressors. So verse 76, so he, Joseph, started with the containers before the container of his brother. Then he extracted it from his brother's container. Thus did we scheme for Joseph. He could not have taken his brother by the religion, or we can say the judgment of the king, unless God had willed. We raise whomever we will in degrees, for above every possessor of knowledge is the all-knowing. They, the brothers, said, if he stole, so has his brother stolen before. But Joseph captured it within himself and did not make it appear to them. He said, you are worse in position, for God is aware of what you describe. They, the brothers, said, oh, you noble man, indeed, he has a father who is very old. So take one of us in his place. Indeed, we see you are of the benevolent. He, Joseph, said, I seek refuge with God that we should take other than he whom
If
we found our belongings with. Indeed, we in that case will be unjust.
that's
So when they had despaired of him, they concluded in secret. Their senior said, do you not know that your father has taken an agreement with you by God, and before that you let loose regarding Joseph? Therefore, I will never leave the land until my father permits me, or God judges for me, for he is the best of judges. Return to your father and say, oh, our father, indeed your son has stolen, and we did not testify except of what we knew, and we were not guardians of the unseen. And as the town in which we have been, and the caravan in which we engaged, for indeed we are truthful. He, the father, said, in fact, your souls have enticed and are fair to you, but patience is beautiful. Perhaps God will bring them to me altogether. Indeed, he is the omniscient, the wise. And he, the father, turned away from them and said, oh, I regret over Joseph. And his eyes became white from the sadness and his suppressed anger. They, the brothers, said, by God, you should cease remembering Joseph, or else you become weak, or you will be of the doom. He, the father, said, I only complain my adversity and my sadness to God, for I know from God what you do not know. O my sons, go and send for Joseph and his brother, and do not despair of the refreshment of God. Indeed, none despairs of the refreshment of God except the disbelieving people. So when they entered to him, they said, oh, you noble man, adversity has touched us and our family, and we have come with scanty goods. So pay us the measure and be charitable to us. Indeed, God repays the alms givers. Then he says, Joseph said, do you know what you did to Joseph and his brother when you were ignorant? Now, let's take the 89 out. Now,
yeah.
do you see the context up to 88? Did
Yes.
you see what the brothers went to do? When they went back to their father, what did they
Yeah.
come with?
With the brother.
No, when they went to their father, they came back with something.
Hmm.
The something they came with is in verse 88.
Yes.
It says, so when they entered to him, that's Joseph, they said, oh, you noble man, adversity has touched us and our family, and we have come with
Scanty
scanty
with
goods.
goods.
So
With
pay us
goods.
the measure and be
And
charitable to us.
yeah, to replace what their brother have stolen.
Yes.
Well,
Do you
goods.
see?
Yeah.
So they went home, they brought scanty goods.
Goods.
They are
Yes.
bringing so that out of the money, it can be taken for compensation, right?
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
It can be taken for compensation. So they are paying for the stealing.
Yeah.
But it was a trap Joseph did. It
Yes.
wasn't like
Yeah.
the person actually stole. So
Stole.
now,
Yeah.
Joseph being the prophet of God, if there
Yeah.
was anything of cutting the hand, what what was Joseph supposed to do?
Yeah. Cutting
He
his
has to tell
brother's
them,
hands.
we are
Yeah.
going to cut his hand.
Yes.
But what
Because
did he do?
they it just take it take him.
They seized him.
Yeah.
Now, seizing him here, because that type of stealing doesn't warrant any exemplary punishment.
Yes.
Now, take the case of, for instance, China. If you are found to be a corrupted leader, they sentence you to death.
Yeah.
Countries like Indonesia, Vietnam, and so on, they will sentence you to death.
Yeah.
Do you get the point?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have
Yes.
cases where you can do an exemplary punishment. It's only exempted, not to be used just because somebody stole something.
Yeah.
We have cases where it is justified to do that. We have
Yes.
people who can cause loss to a nation. They can do the worst corruption by stealing the coffers of the country. If
Yeah.
that is implemented by the judge in charge at that time, there's no case for alarm for that.
Yeah.
You understand? But if we are going by the example that God said concerning Joseph, it's not just any stealing that you have to go and cut somebody's hand. No. There are times that it can be implemented when it is an exemplary punishment.
Yes.
Are you getting the point?
Yes, I get it.
Uh-huh. So that is the point. If somebody says, why can't we do it? Then ask the person, why didn't Joseph do it too?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So
Uh,
that is your answer to the question. Thank you.
thank you so much.
You're
It was
welcome, brother.
a good
Yeah.
discussion.
Thank you. Stay tuned and keep on watching. Thank you. Peace. Oh, I made a mistake. Actually, Hussam has to come first.
Yo, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, my brother. Your name is Hussam, right?
Yeah,
Calling from where?
from America.
From America. How may I help you, Hussam?
Just wanted to chat, just ask you a few questions.
You only have two questions to ask me.
I only have two questions. Okay.
There are
First,
people in the queue. I don't know if you can see them.
yeah, I'm aware, but okay. First question is, what do you think about the Palestine-Israel situation?
What do I think? You want me to give an opinion?
Yeah, I mean, like, tell me just like what you think, honest thoughts.
I'm not in support with the aggression Israel is using over Palestine. I think it's just unfair. And I think when Iran stepped in and attacked Israel, I think America did the needful act, which they were supposed to do when Palestine was being attacked. But America never said anything. But when Israel now is being bombarded, they came in and stepped in, and then the war stopped. So I think there is kind of hypocrisy on the leaders' end also. Countries like Saudi Arabia and so on were supposed to say something regardless, but they kept mute. So it tells you hypocrisy is all over around.
But then in the Quran, God says that He never destroys a nation unless they're wrongdoers. So do you believe that what's happening in Palestine? Do you believe it's a punishment because they're committing shirk, worshiping prophets, sheikhs, in the Bukhari books?
But not in that sense. In that sense, God did it between you and somebody fighting is different from God bringing annihilation. For instance, I give an example. In America, we have Hurricane Katrina's happening. We have tornadoes. We have a lot of natural disasters happening. That you can allocate it to God directly. God doing that. But when it comes to people and people fighting over something, using ammunition and so on against each other, this is not God to be blamed. Right? You understand? So this is somebody's handwork trying to destroy another person.
But then, whenever a soul is born, it's born with a timer on it. So if Allah wills for those babies in Palestine, if He wills for them to live and have a good life, then the Jews have no way of overriding that. So and that means that whenever somebody dies, they were meant to die in that moment. If somebody commits suicide and they die from that, they were meant to die in that moment, whether it was from a car hitting them, a stroke, somebody shooting them.
If you use the word they were meant to die,
Hmm.
it's not a proper word to use. I can give you verses from the
It was
Quran.
written for them to die.
I think it's permitted. God allows that to happen, but it doesn't mean He wants that to happen. There's a difference.
But then why would He will for it then? No, every time a soul is born, we're all born with a timer on our souls. So when those babies are dying, like,
Let me give you some verses and as an example to what you are saying. So, for instance, Quran chapter 3. Let's take the cases 158. I'm coming. I'm going to show you a verse.
Mhm.
This is what God says in Quran chapter 3, verse 150. He says, whether you died or get killed, you will be assembled before God,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
That is number one. Whether you died or get killed. So, which means a person can die and a person can get killed.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
So, what Israel is doing to Palestine, is it Palestinians dying or is it Israel killing them?
I'd say it's both because, like I said, because we all have a time written for our death on
No,
the
no,
dot.
forget about the time. Forget about saying the time, the time, the time. Forget about that.
Mm-hmm.
If God writes the time you are dying, doesn't mean he writes that this guy has to kill you. No. He writes the time, meaning you have a time your race will end. But something
Mm-hmm.
can happen at that given time. Do you know
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you can even slap somebody and the person loses his life?
Yeah, I know.
Which means
Mm-hmm.
the time is already up. It's not because you slap, that's why the person is dying. The
Yeah.
person can be sitting down without nobody touching him, but he can
Mm-hmm.
die. You see? But
Yeah.
sometimes when you are killed, is different from natural death.
But then, okay, if it's written for somebody to die in 10 years, right? Can somebody come now and kill them? Because that would be impossible because only Allah can cause death. So
Yes,
if
God
Allah
causes death, but he uses a medium to cause it by means of
uses
something to
tools,
cause the death.
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
uh-huh.
So when he uses that medium and it happens, listen, he told the human being, do not kill a soul except for what God has permitted.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
So now you go to kill a soul God hasn't permitted.
Mm-hmm.
Who is guilty here?
I mean, because the person that killed it, they still pursued the sin. Just because
Yes.
God allowed it doesn't mean that it's okay. They
Thank
still
you.
pursued the sin. Yeah.
Thank you. So just
Mm-hmm.
because God allowed it doesn't mean it's justified. So God will judge
I'm,
that
I'm I'm not
person.
I'm not saying it's justified.
Yeah, I understand. So
Uh-huh.
God will judge that person for doing the murder, but then it is time up for the one who died.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? That's why they
Yeah.
died. That's why some people can be shot 6 times and so on, but they are not dead.
Yeah.
They are still alive. While some
Mm-hmm.
people, the bullets will just miss them, but they die.
Exactly.
You understand? But
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to war front victory can be given to anybody depending on which day it is. Because God mentioned that in Surah Al-Anfal. He what rotates the day of victories. It's not constant that every time believer has to win a fight. Sometimes a believer can lose a fight. The prophet's time they lost a fight also.
Yeah.
You understand? And some people can be killed and they died. So, which is normal, it normally happens. But when these cases happen, what I want you to understand is, for instance, Quran chapter 4, verse 97. I'm going to give you this verse. In Quran chapter 4, verse 97, God says this. It says, indeed, those the angels will cause their death in wronging their souls. They, the angels, will say, in what were you? They, the wrongdoers, will say, we were oppressed in the land. They, the angels, will say, was the earth of God not spacious to immigrate therein? Thus, those are the ones whose refuge is hell, such an evil destiny. Then God now says, except the oppressed among men, women, and children who are not able to dodge, nor are they guided to a way. Then those God will perhaps pardon them, for God is pardoning and forgiving. So it tells you there are people who are going to be found in circumstances where they don't have a choice or chance to escape. They will be killed, but it depends on God to decide what He wants to do with them. He might decide to pardon them because they didn't have a chance to escape.
Mm-hmm.
So in the Israel-Palestine war, some kids are innocent. They've been killed. God will
Yeah.
decide what He was going to. He might pardon them because it's not their fault.
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting my point?
Yeah.
Because God says in the Quran, chapter 17, verse 15, وَلَا تَزِرُ وَازِرَةُ وِزْرَ أُخْرَى. Then He says, وَمَا كُنَّا مُعَذِّبِينَ حَتَّى نَبْعَثَ رَسُولًا. So if He hasn't sent a messenger, He's not going to destroy. That is God Himself doing something. But when it comes to the issue of war, people attacking each other, then it depends on the people. If this one goes to kill this one, he's guilty for killing. Do you see how it works?
Yeah. I understand what you're saying.
Okay. So, anyways, let's go to your second question.
Second question. Um, what do you? I'll ask you regarding the same topic. What do you think about the people cursing the name of Israel? And like you know how the Arabs, they always and the Muslims, they blame everything on the Jews.
Blaming Jews is different from Israel. I think
Well,
cursing the
both,
name
both.
Israel is wrong.
Yeah.
According to the Quran, there's difference between Jews and
Hmm.
Bani Israel.
Hmm.
There's a difference. They are not the
Yeah.
same.
Religion versus race. Yeah.
Exactly. So Judaism is a religion,
Hmm.
whilst Bani Israel is a race or is a clan or a
Hmm.
tribe. So people allocating that as the same thing is a misconception. But I can understand to some extent because the current day Jews, they are calling themselves Israelis or Israel.
Hmm.
They gave themselves that name in the year 1948,
Hmm.
right? That's when
Yeah.
they get their state. So Israel, when the Arabs sometimes are praying, sometimes they mistaking the word Bani Israel in the Quran for the Israelis in the Middle East now. There's a big difference. People don't understand that.
Hmm. But
You
then,
understand?
yeah, but you know how people, they blame everything on the Jews, especially the Arabs.
They control the world.
Is do you believe that or no?
Well, who? Jews or who?
No, the Jews. Yeah.
They control the world.
I thought Allah controls the world. Is he not the one who created it? I'm serious.
God created the heavens and the earth, and He sets the command, and then He's sitting and watching what is happening.
So you believe that God created the world and just dropped us all and he's not doing anything? He's just sitting and watching?
When we say controlling the world,
Hmm.
you have to understand the figment of speech here. Controlling the world meaning the activities going on within the world is in charge by the human being is in charge. The activities were happening now. The human being, we are controlling the events.
But you don't believe that Allah wrote for certain wars to happen?
Certain what?
Like you think that Allah writes for someone to live 50 years, right? But then the IDF can just come in and choose to end their lives 40 years earlier. That's
No,
not that's
it's
not
not
how.
possible. It's not possible.
Exactly.
It's not possible.
So
So
the only.
when you die at a particular time, that is it's time for you to die.
Mhm,
There's nothing, no
mhm,
two ways about that.
exactly.
So when I'm talking about the world, I'm talking about a figment of speech. The activities going on within the world is now check this verse I'm putting on the screen.
Mhm.
God said, and it is not for someone to die except by the permission of God at a decreed time.
Yeah, exactly.
So when the time is up, even
Mhm,
if somebody slaps you, the person who slapped
mhm,
you might be sent to jail for
mhm,
terminating you, but
mhm,
God has already chosen the time you are going to die.
mhm. But you don't think that it's a coincidence that Palestine, it's a pro-Sunni state or country. They're upon shirk, worshipping prophets, worshipping the sheikhs, worshipping the hadiths. You don't think you think what's happening is just a test and not a punishment?
If it's punishment, God will have used His servants to punish them.
Yeah, I
Israel,
mean,
no, Israel are they the servants of God?
we're all agents of God because
No, no, no,
everything we
no.
do,
I didn't see agents. Are they the servants of God?
are they? Not all of them. Are there any true believers within the IDF force? I don't know. That's a possibility. I know it's very unlikely, but it's still a possibility.
So you think God sent Israel as a punishment to Palestine?
He destroyed multiple countries. Or multiple nations, as said in the Quran. Sodom and Gomorrah. You think that Sodom and Gomorrah was just a test?
But He did it by His angels. He doesn't need Israel to do that.
What about all the other nations that they destroyed?
God still destroyed them. If He wants to destroy a nation, I just gave you the example of tornado, hurricane, Katrina, tsunami, and so on. If God
But those
wants to destroy,
tornadoes, but Allah controls nature. He controls the wind. He controls all of that.
that is
So,
nature.
nature.
Nature is look. You just need to understand this. I don't know if you watched the program from beginning. I spoke about the devil. Did you hear that part?
Hmm.
Did you see the promise God made with the devil?
Yeah.
He said he should control people with his voice, and he should, delude people with his horses, his men, and to partake in their wealth and to partake in their children. All this is under the watch of God. God is watching. But because it is a role the devil has to play, so that is the role of the devil. But then God, the same God, is cautioning you about the devil. He's telling you, be careful about this guy. Right? So the things the Jews are doing, it's not like God is sleeping. He can see it, but there's a time for payback. God can use his servants to come and attack them at the right time. He used his servants like Iran who attacked them, and now they are silent.
Iran are not servants. They're also Iran is Sunni and Shia
They are Sunni and what?
and Shia.
So they are not servant. They are what?
They're mushriks.
They are mushriks.
Uh-huh.
Who did God use to save Moses?
The Qadr.
Who did God use to save Moses?
Who?
Yeah.
Well, we have the Al Qadr, the staff.
Who took care of Moses till he grew up?
Fir'aun.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So at least Pharaoh did some good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So God can still use Iran to do something good.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, and he can also use, because here's the thing, if Palestine is up and running, all the laws from the Hadith, they're going to be in place. So you're going to have people marrying children, people killing people left and right, hanging women just for having a boyfriend. So if Palestine, that's why Palestine cannot win. Otherwise, it's just going to be another. Because the top 10 most violent countries in the world, they're all Muslim countries. So if
Okay.
Palestine is
But to summarize this, do you believe our life is a test?
100%.
So we are going through a test.
Mm-hmm.
It's a test for all of us. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But anyways, thank you, brother Osam. Let me give other people
Yeah.
the chance. I don't want us to base on the political issue. So let's move.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, salam.
Peace and blessings be upon you, Baba, and your
Peace,
family.
peace, peace, peace. I'm doing well, brother. Who is this? Do I remember this
Yes,
account?
I'm the one from Bahrain. I recently taken your book. I had gotten the book.
Ah, yeah. I remember. Yes. Files, right?
Yeah. How are you, Baba?
Nice to meet you, bro. I'm doing well, alhamdulillah. Thanks to God.
So I have one question. Now, does believing in wrong or fabricated lies about the nature or the shape of the heavens and the earth considered the same as being deluded into being a sectarian?
Repeat the question again. Does what?
Does believing in wrong or fabricated lies about the shape of the earth or the heavens is considered the same as being deluded into being a sectarian? Because reflecting on my part, when I was a sectarian, before I had even gotten the guidance from God, I was thinking that it was the right knowledge and it was perfect and there is nothing after this. And that was my delusion. So, because for that, because I was deluded, and if I had died on that delusion, I would have been considered a mushrik, right? Now, that was the main reason which I found guidance upon. But then I'm reflecting back on the other parts as well. There are many lies that we have been told about, let's say, for example, the heavens and the earth. And if we believe in them without knowing the truth, is it the same as being deluded again? Because now you're again fabricating lies
Yeah,
about God and His
yeah.
creation.
When we believe in such things, we are going against the commands of God. Oh, this is what God tells us. In Quran chapter 17, verse 36, God says, وَلَا تَخْفُ مَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٌ. He says, do not pursue that of which you have no knowledge.
Okay.
Do you see the point? Then he says,
Yeah.
in the hearing, the eyesight, and the mind, all those who will be accountable thereof. So if you go believing in things that you don't have knowledge about, it shows there's a problem.
But what if that is the only knowledge available to you? Because in every school, this is what they teach. And what if it
Yeah.
is a lie?
Um, you see, the notion of believing is a choice. Quran chapter 18, verse 29, God says the truth is from your Lord. Whoever wills, let him believe, and whoever wills, let him disbelieve. Nobody can force you to believe, right?
Yeah.
So believing is a choice. If somebody says something and you feel like, okay, I believe this, so as far as it doesn't affect your faith with God or what God says, then it's okay. Are you
But that
getting that?
is, um, but then even a Sunni thinks the same thing, right? He is just being closer to God, and it's nothing wrong in following some book or some cherry-picked verses of the Hadith. So, wouldn't
I
be,
said, as far as it doesn't go against the words of God. What the Sunni does goes against the words of God.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's guilty.
But he doesn't know that, right? Because he has not even
I
read the
don't know.
book.
Most of them know. They just don't want to listen to the truth. That's all.
But how do we come to other topics in life which we don't know it might be true or not, but we don't even know the real knowledge.
Anything a person says, you just need to verify it. Any claim a person makes, any statement a person makes. If I tell you Angel Gabriel has 3 wings, are you going
Hmm.
to believe me?
No, not unless it's in the Quran.
Thank you. So you need to find a source of guidance. The source of guidance has to be Quran. Does it say that in the Quran? If it doesn't say, how can I force you to believe that? You get
Okay.
the point.
Yeah.
Your book of guidance is the book of God. So don't let anybody else confuse you with a narrative. If you want to believe other things, so as long as it doesn't go against the words of God, that's up to you. But if it has to do with guidance to God, if God hasn't mentioned it, don't stress yourself. Forget about that.
But okay.
Can you imagine I go on the day of judgment in front of God and God will ask me, is the earth flat or round?
Well, he keeps saying as how he has described in the Quran of how he created the heavens and the earth. So if I say
No,
I don't know,
I'm saying, can you imagine me going in front of God and God is going to ask me on the day of judgment, is the earth flat or round?
no.
Exactly. It doesn't make sense. Why will God ask me that question? What has that question
But
got to do with guidance of God?
I'm partaking in lies about God, right? Because I'm saying something God did not do.
No, lies in God is to say what God didn't say. For example, if you say God said angels
Hmm.
have angel Gabriel has 10 wings. The
Hmm.
moment I say God said, that's a lie. Because where did he say?
Hmm.
Are
Okay.
you getting my point?
Yeah.
Aha. You can say things by not attributing it to God. It's just a belief. Okay, I believe this earth is bigger than what they are telling us.
Hmm.
I believe that. How does this belief affect anything?
According to the Quran, you're not doing anything wrong because your faith is still correct. You're still worshiping one God and
That's
all
the
that.
point. But I use the word I believe. I didn't say God
Mhm.
said or somebody said. I said I believe the earth is bigger than they are telling us. The way they show us on the computers and so on, I
Mhm.
believe it's bigger than that.
Hmm.
And as a matter of fact, I believe it's bigger than the Jupiter, the Mars they are telling you about.
Mhm.
Because if
Yeah.
human beings cannot measure our roads, they can't even measure accurately. What makes you think they can measure the earth?
Yeah.
Our engineers are struggling to measure roads to give us the right dimensions. They are
Yeah.
struggling. What makes you think it is the earth they can measure? The distance they have in the African map, the Africa itself, they lie to us about the distance.
So is it like somebody who knows it and is deliberately hiding the information to deviate us, or is it that nobody just knows?
No, that the point is, look, if you ask a scientist how old is the earth, what do they normally tell you?
Some billion, some something.
They say about.
Yeah.
Do they know? Do they know the answer?
Exactly. No.
They don't know.
Hmm.
You see the point?
So it's just based on how strong they're guessing, but everyone is just guessing.
Exactly. So don't let somebody's guessing be a shackle to your neck. Just allow the
Hmm.
person to say what they want and go. That's all. Don't stress yourself.
Okay, so I have one more
Yeah.
question.
Greetings,
Uh,
Mira. Yeah.
with
Yeah.
the events that are happening in the world, with how, as we spoke about the corruption of food, the corruption of society, the corruption of, having false education, corruption of lifestyle, how people are living, the corruption of history. So is this all by Allah's will, or is this something that is just conspiracy, which Allah tells us in the Quran that you should just stay away if it is bothering you too much? How do we differentiate if it's the truth or if it's just a conspiracy?
Now you can verify people's claims to know if they are telling the truth or not. If Baba Shraib, if I say I have a Finnish passport or not, there's only one way to find out. You don't need to ask God about that.
Yeah.
You get my point?
Yeah.
Thank you. So there are things you just need people to prove it. If it's a politician saying it, if it's a doctor saying it, if concerning vaccines and so on, you need to ask questions. You need proof. God gave us the solution to how a problem is solved. If you check Quran chapter 2, verse 111, I'm going to show you an example. Quran chapter 2, verse 111, this is what God says. When the Jews and the Christians are making a claim, this is what they said. They said, and they say, none will enter the garden, that is paradise, except the one who is a Jew or a Christian. These are their desires. Say, bring your proof if you are truthful. Bring it. Let's check. Somebody makes a claim, let them prove it. That's all.
Okay, and
Can
so
they
I have
prove?
one more. I have one more question, sir.
Yeah.
God keeps saying in the Quran that He brings down water from the sky, and like repeatedly He mentions it. But today, science teaches us about cloud seeding, which they say that you don't have to believe in God. You just go up, sprinkle some things, and water's gonna come down. So, Can you tell us how to look at that opinion?
The same science couldn't tell you how old is the earth, and you think science can tell you everything 100%? You ask the scientists, when we die, where do the soul go? Where does our soul go? And what color is our soul? Ask the scientists. They cannot answer that.
Yeah. But they have a very, like written documentation of how cloud seeding works, and now everyone in every other country is doing it. So
They
how
can
do we
they
look
can
at?
they can still lie to you. Even still, mathematics, we have problem with the equation. 2 times 2 is what?
Four,
1 times 1 is what?
one?
They lie to you. Do you see the lie?
No, I did not see the line.
If I multiply 1 by 1, I shouldn't get 1. Logically, I shouldn't get 1. Are you getting my point?
I'm trying to, I'm trying to
It
understand
is
what
a
you're saying.
rule they stipulated to mentally enslave us. It's like a control. It's like a programming. They've programmed us to accept that narrative. That's why when we go to school, they tell us that.
Yeah,
So if the Christians can say Trinity, one time 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 1, why will you blame them? Because they
mm,
invented that narration.
yeah.
Why should 1 times 1 be 1? According to who? Whose law? Have you realized nobody is able to answer that question? According to whose law is that?
Yeah.
1 times 1. The word times is multiply. In which language does when you say something has been multiplied and it remain the same? Are you getting the logic I'm putting
Yeah.
here?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the science and the mathematics, and we've been lied to about a lot of things, but
Yeah.
we just agree with it because we don't want to complicate things. That's why we are going with the flow. Some things don't make sense. We just accept it like that because we don't want to crack our brains. Have you seen the video where the teacher was teaching some kids in school mathematics, and then he wrote 2 plus 2, and the kid wrote 4, and the teacher cleaned it and wrote 5, and the kid insisted the answer is 4, and the teacher got some people to terminate him? Have you seen that advert before?
No,
There's
I
a
did not.
video on the internet. Oh, guys, I don't know where I saved the video. I had it somewhere, right? But I'm just saying, is the narrative they control the way we think, the way we follow things. We are being controlled.
So would
Science,
then still believing in this is like, because now, as you said, we don't have knowledge, so we should not pursue. But then, if this is
look,
what is being told,
Quran chapter 17, verse 85 to is it verse 85 to 86? God says, when they ask you about the spirit, what did he say you should say?
I have only been told a bit of it, something like that. I have only the knowledge is with Allah, but I have only been said something like just a bit about it,
Exactly.
something like that.
He says, yes, alunaka anu rule. He says the rule comes from the command of my Lord, but you have not been told except a little of its
Mm.
knowledge, except a little. So,
Mhm.
meaning the human being has a proportion level of knowledge. It is not everything you are bound to know. You
Mhm.
have to know something to some extent. I'm just saying there are things we stipulated for ourselves is just to make things flow the way we want.
Mhm.
Are you getting my point? But
Yes,
it
sir.
doesn't necessarily mean that is the truth because this is human invention.
True. So,
Are you
is
getting
it wrong to say that the humans right now are able to bring water from the sky by using whatever scientific methods they use?
scientifically? Yes, they can do. We can do things right now. Scientifically, we can even create a fly, but it will not still not be the same as the one God creates.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. True.
The human being can even create. We create mobile phones and so on, but you still cannot compare it to that of God. That's the difference.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so and one last question I had. There's a verse that it's the last one. I'm sorry if
Okay.
it's getting there. There's a verse that says Iblis was among the disbelievers, like when God told him to prostrate and he said no. So were there other people who disbelieved with him at that time, or was he alone who was sent down as a disbeliever along with Adam and Eve?
It wasn't sent down, it was to descend from the garden. I think people are thinking when we say send down, it seems they are in the heaven up there. No. Adam and Eve were created on earth.
Yeah.
You understand? So it they were in the garden. It is the garden they were told to descend from it. The word used there is minha. Minha is a feminine a pronoun. The word ha denotes the garden. So it is the garden they were told to leave from the garden. So Iblis was also in the garden with them.
Hmm. But
But
when
it is
Allah
not,
says
it is not the Garden of Eden, as people who were lying have been lying about it, saying that Adam and Eve were in the Garden of Eden. Nowhere in the Quran does it say they were in the Garden of Eden.
okay.
Yes.
But my question was that Iblis was among the disbelievers. So were there other people who disbelieved at that point itself, or was it
No,
later?
no, initially he was not a disbeliever. In the first place, he was not a disbeliever.
Yeah,
He became a disbeliever afterwards. That's when he told God to respite him on the day of judgment, till the day of judgment.
and then he created more disbelievers after that point, like after that
Exactly.
verse.
Exactly. That is when God made a promise he will put him to hell and whoever will follow him. But initially, Iblis was not a disbeliever. Initially.
And he was the only one who disbelieved when the command came to like prostrate to Adam. He was the only one who said no. There was
Yeah.
nobody else other than
No, only
him.
him. Only him didn't do that. And that is why God asked him a question. He should have said, oh, I don't think I was part of them, or maybe I'm sorry. But he didn't apologize. When Adam made a mistake, he asked for forgiveness and God forgave him. But Iblis, he didn't ask for forgiveness. You get the point?
Uh, Sort of, because in that statement that I still have, it says that Allah says that Iblis became among the disbelievers. So Allah is already saying that he became of the disbelievers. That means there were other people who were disbelieving with him at that point, like when the prostration was supposed to happen, or is it like Allah is saying after that, in that sense?
After that, that is after from that time onwards, that's when he made a decision to go wayward. Are you getting the point?
Yeah.
It's after that, because that's after that onwards he made a promise to God that he's going to mislead the
Mhm.
descendants of Adam.
Mhm. Okay.
So
Thank you
that's
so much for
yes,
answering my questions.
yes, you're
God bless
welcome.
you and your work.
Thank you. God bless you. Thank
Peace
you.
and
I
blessings.
appreciate it. Peace.
Yeah,
Yeah, salam.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, my brother Abdulaziz, calling from.
Yes, Ghana.
Nice to meet you, my brother. How may I help you?
Yeah, I am an Ahmadi Muslim,
Okay.
and I was actually informed by somebody you mentioned earlier during your stream, Ebenezer
Okay.
Kantanka.
Ebenezer, yes, I recognize the
Yeah,
person. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm an Ahmadi Muslim, as I said earlier, that I had
Okay.
wanted, yeah, I had wanted to engage you with my team. So if the you can give us any time, any modalities on either on your channel or on our channel. We have a channel, Ampa TV on YouTube, that we want to engage you. According to Ebenezer, he said you have been requesting calling Ahmedis to your channel. Though I don't know how true those statements are, but I'm here today because of Ebenezer, and also to engage you. I said engage, not to debate, but we want to engage you in a discourse on all topics pertaining to Islam of media and Islam in general. So you choose a topic, we speak about it, we trash out the modalities as to our engagement. So I want to put this to you if you accept.
So this is why you called.
Yes, please.
My public number was there. You could have given me a call.
Read public number.
The number you are seeing on the screen.
Oh, I said what you said. Okay, WhatsApp call only. I've requested this from him from for no for God knows how long. He actually introduced you to me, I think, somewhere last year, but never gave me this number. But my mind has actually not gone to that. So, is there anything we can do? Mm, so that we touch out modalities and everything. We discuss topics to discuss and everything. I'm unable to hear you. Or can you hear me? Hello, are you speaking? Wait, wait, please, please. I'm not hearing you. Hello, what is going on? Is there anything? I can't hear. I can't hear. Hello, but do you hear me? Hello, I don't know. Uh,
How about now? Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me now. Can you hear me now on YouTube? Okay, you say yes. Okay. I think a call came in via WhatsApp. Yeah, a call came in via WhatsApp. As soon as I muted that call, then my mic just went silence. I don't know what happened. Okay, if you can hear me now, let's go with this. Let me see. Yeah, if you can hear me now, let's go with this. This should be okay. Yeah, somebody tried calling me, and as soon as I touched the Is it good now? Is it the sound clear? Today, I think the devil is not happy. Iblis is not happy today at all. Iblis says, "Let me frustrate this guy," trying to frustrate me on TikTok. Now you follow my microphone also. Hey, Iblis, why? Iblis says, "Let me frustrate this guy." This Iblis is from Africa, I'm sure. That devil is from Africa. Okay, this guy tried calling me. Let me check. Yeah, salam.
Assalamu alaikum, Baba.
Wa alaikum salam, my brother. How are you?
I had a question.
Well,
thank you.
please help me out again because of the audience. What's the name again?
My name is Ali.
Ali, yes, Ali, yes. Ali from UK, right?
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Yes,
Okay.
I'm listening.
I had a question about Quran 424 in regards to contract marriages. And I used to be Sunni before, and one of the reasons why I even managed to open my mind to realizing the lies is by seeing the contradictions between Sunni and Shia, and both of them claiming that they have the prophets, traditions with them. But yeah, so one of the things that was bothering me was in regards to temporary marriages. So is does the Quran 424 allow muta marriage? That's the question I wanted to ask today.
Okay, so let's check the verse, right? Quran chapter 4, verse 24. First of all, the word muta is not found in the verse. But secondly, the verse has a context starting from verse 22, right? So I'm going to put the verses on the screen so everybody can see. So starting from verse 22, chapter 4, verse 22, it says, "And do not marry those your fathers had married among the women or among women, except what has already preceded." So meaning people who married their father's wives in the past, meaning father's ex-wives in the past, they can still continue with the marriage. But now God has brought a rule according to that time. Then it says, "Indeed, it is an obscenity and an abhorrence and an evil way." Verse 23, "Unlawful to you are your mothers." So meaning a person cannot marry his mother. Your daughters are forbidden for you to marry. Your sisters, your paternal aunts, maternal aunts, the daughters of your brother, the daughters of your sister, your mothers who nurtured you and your sisters from breastfeeding, the mothers of your women, meaning your wives, right? Your foster children who are under your guardianship, from your women, whom you have entered into them, meaning you have copulated with them. But if you have not copulated with them, entered into them, then there is no blame on you, as well as the wives of your sons, those from your loins. So, meaning if your son's ex-wife, your son which is not from your loins, if he has an ex-wife, you can marry her, just like the prophet married the ex-wife of his adopted son. And to combine two sisters together, it is forbidden. You can't combine two sisters together, right? But it is allowed if you married a sister and she died and you marry her other sister. Yes, you can do that. But combiningly, to marry two sisters from the same father and mother and you are marrying them together in the same, no, it's forbidden, because you are trying to create a chaotic scene there between sisters, right? Then it says, except what has already preceded, meaning people have done that in the past. So it is allowed in the past, not anymore. Indeed, God is forgiving and merciful. Then verse 24, then he says, and the married among women, they are forbidden for you. If a woman is already married, she can't marry again. She cannot marry. That is verse 24. Then he says, except those your right hands possess, meaning by oath, those you possess by your oath, they you can marry them, right? Then he says, as a decree of God to you, and lawful for you is what is beyond that, to seek chaste women with your wealth, not as fornicators, and whomever you relish. Meaning, you can seek women with your wealth in terms of marriage, not to be fornicating, just like people go and pay prostitutes to sleep with them. No. Meaning, you seek a woman with your wealth based on marriage, not based on fornication. Right? Some people will just go and pay a lady and then have sex with her. That is forbidden. So such a lady shouldn't be taken in that manner, unless if you are marrying her, then you use your wealth to marry her. But still, we don't see the notion of mutar there. Then he says, and whomever you relish, huh?
Sorry for interrupting, but yeah, to me, that's the section that in my mind was kind of, I'm perceiving as to, since let's just say I see a woman, I want to marry her. I mean, I do not I like her, but I do not want to fornicate. So I give her a dowry. Like would then, and then we have a marriage. It can even be open or whatever. Like we have a party, everyone knows, But under the contract, because I believe you're meant to also make sure there's a contract for what do you call it, institutions like marriage. So within that contract, what I'm asking is essentially, would there be haram to put a timeline in that marriage?
According to God, there is no marriage when you marry a woman and you say this marriage is 2 years and 3 years. After 3 years, we are parted ways. What kind of marriage is that? Nowhere in the Quran will you find such a marriage where God says a man and a woman, they are going to marry, but we put 6 months on the contract. Now that is the fornication part. Because why are you marrying him? What is the reason behind the marriage in the first place? What is the reason?
Okay, yeah. When you put it like that, because it's like, yeah. So for me, again, like there was this hadith that I think from the where Ali said if muta was still allowed, there would be no fornication. But it's also very hard to also deny when you put a temporary timeline as well. It's like, is that not? It's not why we're doing this. Is that the reason why we're not doing this?
That is the point. The idea of mutar, the scholars made it legal so that they can sleep with the women. They can just marry them temporarily and sleep with them. That's why the scholars invented that.
Okay.
Okay. It is, look, we cannot outsmart God.
Right.
Why they are trying to make fornication legal when it's already illegal. So if they look, God is not forcing anybody. You can't stick with the rules of God. Just go and do your thing. Who is forcing you? But the point is, why are they trying to twist the words of God to suit their agenda?
Okay. Yeah.
Are you getting my point? Why are they trying to? The word first, in the first place, the word muta is not in the Quran. Secondly, there is no type of marriage where you state that the expiry date, even before the marriage, you are already stating the expiry date of the marriage.
Right.
Are you getting the point?
Yeah, I understand.
So,
Like I
okay,
said, it's like it's
let,
all about intentions.
let me give you an
It's
example.
very hard to.
Let me give you an example. Let's say you see a lady you like. I'm just giving you this is a I'm using a hypothetical example, right? You see a lady you like. Then you are like, hey, Shorty, I like you. I want to rock with you. But can we just rock for 6 months and then we go our separate ways? How does that sound?
Yeah, it sounds like a proposition for fornication.
It makes no sense. They are just trying to justify the sin. This is what the devil does. Trying to justify the sin to make it seem as if they are deceiving themselves. Yes, that is the right word. Continue what? They are deceiving themselves. You can't deceive God. No. You understand? It makes no sense. Unless if the woman herself doesn't respect herself for her to accept that, oh, I'm with the guy for 6 months and after that we are done. What? What kind of, not even a boyfriend girlfriend relationship makes sense on that. It's just like you have an escort. Excuse me to say, it's just like having an escort. Do you know a lot of those football celebrities, musicians, and so they have escorts?
Yeah.
And then they pay the female model influencers for a short period of time to be with them, to hang out with them outside. It makes no sense. What are they? Who are they trying to play the games with? God? No, it doesn't work. They can't justify the muta marriage in the Quran. It doesn't exist unless they want to twist the verses and lie.
Yeah. It's like I said, that's kind of where I was, looking at it from different angles. But even me, I just wanted to see if there's like a Quran verse other than this one that would justify it. But this is the only one that I found. But yeah, like you pointed out, it's not indicating an expiry date. It doesn't give you, just because you you utilized your wealth in this situation doesn't mean that you also have to go ahead and say, okay, we end here.
It makes no sense.
We're gonna extend that. Yeah.
I'm seriously, it makes no sense. Going into marriage is a serious thing. It's not a joke. Marriage is not a joke. So if these people have taken the religion as a joke, then that's their religion. But look, God is not forcing anybody. You don't want to practice God's religion, then form a different religion and do your thing. Just like the Shia, the Sunnis, they are forming their own religions. That's why they make the rules. They are only using the Quran as a shield to justify their atrocities. But it doesn't exist in the Quran.
Yeah, thank you for that. Like that, it clears my, because like I said, I debated my friend with this. He's Shia, he was using this verse. He said, look, you can use your money, as long as the contract she agrees. But internally, it never felt right, But then he was like, he beats fornication. But then I'm like, yeah, but the intention is very hard to avoid the intention here. That fornication plays a part,
Yeah, it plays a part. The moment a man says, "I want to be with this woman for 6 months," what is it for? If not fornication, what? You tell me what. So God already spoke against it. He says, "Do not use your wealth to seek chaste women with your wealth, not as fornicators." So you are not seeking her for fornication. It's marriage, for God's sake, not fornication, not for sex. Because marriage is a package. It comes with a lot of things. Marriage doesn't only go with sex. It goes with a lot of things.
Exactly.
You need the emotions involved. You need the togetherness. You need the future plans. You need the spirit. It's a spiritual thing. So if you go to the extent
Right.
to say I'm going to marry a lady for 3 months or 6, what kind of nonsense is this?
Mm. Yeah, you're basically, it's true. At that point, you want to avoid all the emotional baggage that it comes with and challenges. So
Exactly. This is why Mohammed Hijab did the hotel marriage thing. But
yeah,
he will end
yeah, and
up
that's what.
he will end up going to condemn the Shia people, but he's doing it too.
Yeah, like when I saw that promotion as well, I was like, oh, okay. So Sunnis have also developed some sort of,
They do it. They
you
do it.
know,
The Sunnis
uh,
have been doing it a long time ago. They do it in secret. I know a lot of scholars who have done it.
okay, yeah,
The
and
Sunnis, they are
that's what I
calling
was
the
thinking.
misyar marriage. The Sunnis have the name for it. Misyar marriage. They do it. Even Mohammed
Yeah.
Hijab was trying to justify it last time on one of his videos.
Yeah, no, thank you for clearing mama. Because it's like for me, it was like, okay, I saw this verse and I was like, my friend used it, and I was like, oh, okay. But again, to me, it wasn't really aligning very well. So I thought, okay, maybe there's other verses. So since you translated the Quran, I'll say, okay, maybe you've come across other verses that either justify or deny it further. But even the verse where you said, "Do not seek, use your wealth to seek as fornicators."
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that clears that shuts it down right there.
Yeah. If your friend just want to insist, just ask him what is the purpose of the marriage. That's all. Just ask him this question. It will strike all his thoughts down. Just ask him what is the purpose
Mm,
for the marriage. What's the purpose? What is
right, right,
what
right.
is to be achieved in that marriage? What?
Yeah, especially when you take away the long term aspect and working together. Yeah, definitely.
Because remember,
No, I'm thinking.
the word God used in
Mm,
this verse is chaste women.
mm-mm.
You seek a chaste woman with your wealth, not as fornicators.
Okay,
So I don't think any chaste woman want to be in that position.
definitely not.
So that's the point. So
Yeah.
yeah, they just have a silly excuse to do what they are doing. That's all. Anyways, thank you, brother
Okay.
Ali. You have any more question or that's it?
No, that's it. But once again, I'd like to thank you. It's been a year now. I've awakened to this nonsense that has been plaguing Muslims. At this point, they got us in a very, like, I still can't believe, like, when you point people out to use the Quran, like, as I asked your question, you stuck to the Quran. You didn't bring like too much. Like, your opinion came with
From the Quran, yeah.
back verses of the Quran. You see, and to me, it's like when the God says the book is complete.
Yeah.
I feel like all these thousands of years, people have gone and done commentary on Hadith. I feel like it's such a big waste of time. There's differences between Quranists, but I actually appreciate it because I'm like, this is what the scholars should have done. All these debates you guys have, discussions you guys have, I think is really important as well.
Yeah,
But
it
like I
is.
said, it should have been had ready, from time memorial. But Shaitan got involved, and we're here. But thank you so much for all the effort and hard work you put
You're
in.
welcome. You're
May
welcome,
Allah
my
bless.
brother. Thank you for calling in. God bless you. Peace.
Thank
Peace.
you.
Yeah. So, guys, this is Ali calling from UK, and I think 3 hours is good. Is enough. This is where I need to bring the topic to an end. I'm going to TikTok, guys. You can join me on TikTok to just get the bonus before I get tired. I just hope some mushriks will come on TikTok. I need to give my energy. Um, Normally, Pedro said, don't pick any other call, bro. Let's avoid the devil. Are you sure? Let's see. The devil is scared. Oh. We shouldn't avoid him. He's scared. Momade Pedro, you asked a question. You said, Baba Shraib, is it is going to see a traditional healer consider shirk and haram? No, it is not haram as long as you know the things that person does. If it doesn't involve shirk, it's not haram, right? If it doesn't involve shirk, it is not haram. It is only haram when it involves shirk, meaning the things the person is using, you have to know. You ask the person. You can ask the traditional healer, what are the things you use to do these things? If it lies to you, that is between him and God, right? So yes, you can go to traditional healers if they are capable of healing you from any sickness you have, but please ask them, right? Ask them if the things they are doing doesn't involve shirk. It will be good to ask, right? So that you don't follow it blindly. Sharif Karim says, are you facing Ahmadiyya group? I haven't finished talking to the guy. I think his network, I was about to ask him a question when my microphone went mute, right? I wanted to ask him something. That what is it specifically that they saw in my video that they want to discuss? I wanted to ask him that, but I think I have to get back to him. I don't know how to reach him because he never called my number directly, right? So I will expect them to call that number because I told him to call that number, right? So if he's watching the playback, please call my private number, send me a voice message, then we can arrange, right? But first of all, I want to know which video of mine did you watch for you to approach me, then we can discuss on that, you know? So that's it. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is where I need to bring the topic to an end. I've done 3 hours. I might trim the greetings part off. I'm going to TikTok. You can join me. Let's continue with the mushriks in case they are there, right? I'm going to face the mushriks over there. I can see my elder Zaid Salam. I can see Brother Elliot. You're welcome. Salam to you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You can do this. Umar Sataur, Jamshed, Helal Ahmed, Mumadi Pedro, Kid Custom, JS, Asa B for G's, Abdul, all the guys here. I appreciate Pacman, Sister Khadija Mom, I see you, yes. Semma Elom. Yes, Semma Elom, I see you. Greetings to you. Bless you also. Guys, all the guys who called on the show, I appreciate your presence. Also, God bless you for calling in and supporting the channel. Yeah, the names are quite a lot. I can't mention everybody, but I see Courtney Ward, Southwest Villas, Riza Alexander, all of you guys. I appreciate the support. I'm going to TikTok, so kindly join me there. Let's continue, right? I appreciate all of you. So, ladies and gentlemen, till we meet again, probably maybe Saturday, yeah, my kids wanted me to take them somewhere. I don't know, but we see what happens on Saturday. Let's see. Thank you very much, Sharif Karim, Zach Sparrow. Guys, thank you very much. This is where I bring the topic to an end till we meet again next week. God bless. Peace. Always give them a reason to remember your name. The correctional officer.